Hello, everyone. Linda Wilson here from Learn to Transcribe Academy. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Miss Rhonda Duell. She is a recent graduate of our legal transcription with apprenticeship course. And I'd love to turn it over to Rhonda and let her tell us a little about herself and just whatever you'd like to say, Rhonda. Go right ahead.
All right, thanks. I'm Rhonda Duell. I live in a little town in Pennsylvania up on the hills up here. My husband and I have 5 children and 5 grandchildren. Previously was a director of the public library in town, and I left that job last August in order to come home and do transcribing full time from home.
Well, great. Well, you just finished my course and you graduated and you're already working into an apprenticeship. You've been in it for a little while. Tell us all about that.
Well, I started probably about a month ago, and I've really enjoyed working for this company. I like the way that their work area is set up. I can go in at any time and get files. If I'm up in the middle of the night and want to start working, I can go in and take a file and it tells me, when it's due and everything. So I can kind of schedule my time around anything that's going on in my life. I've really learned a lot through this apprenticeship.
Well, great. Well, how long after you graduated from my training course did you start this apprenticeship? It was pretty quickly, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in just a couple weeks, I think.
Okay, great. And so you were telling me before we started the interview that you've already moved up and gotten a little bit of a raise already, just quickly, right?
Yep, I've gone from their step 1 level to step 2, and I think there's 2 more levels that I can go up. And yeah, it's been pretty easy. They've been pretty happy, I think, with the work that I've done.
Excellent. Well, I'm very glad to hear that, and I know they're happy to have you too. And so that's going to really work out really well. I've sent several apprentices there who are still there, still working with them, and they just loved them so much they just wanted to keep them on their team. So that's great. Well, as far as your big picture, looking outward into your future, um, do you envision continuing doing litigation transcription for a long time, full time, part time? Just tell us what do you want to do?
Yeah, that's what I plan on doing. I wanted something to do from home and that I could do, yeah, like even after my husband retires. I plan on doing it full time at least until then.
Mhm.
And then just as some extra money in retirement. I really enjoy it. I wish I had found it years ago.
So it's a very good, legitimate occupation that a lot of people just don't know about or nobody's ever told them. And the other thing is, uh, as far as making your money back that you spent on the training, have you made your money back yet?
Oh, yes, definitely. It didn't take long at all.
I tell everybody that, and I don't know if they believe me, but yeah, you'll make your money back really fast, and then see you're all set up for years of a career ahead of you. So I think that's great. Well, another thing I wanted to ask you is when you started this course, you had a little bit of transcription work experience. You were telling me already doing some legal transcription. Is that right?
Right. Yeah. I had done a little bit general and legal both.
Right. And you had taken someone else's training that you found online that's, all over the place and finished that. But you said, I think, that you didn't feel just quite trained well enough. And then that somehow led you to me. T- just tell us about that experience, if you would.
Yeah, I had taken the class and I learned the basics and started working for a couple people. I started in a general transcription company and then had found a legal company I started working for. But I just never felt confident enough. I was always worried that I was doing something wrong. And the company that I worked for, I never got any feedback from them. So I didn't know what areas I should improve in or what any issues that I had. So I wanted something that gave me a little bit more confidence that I knew what I was doing. And I happened to, I think back when I first started transcribing, I just did a search for transcription things. And your podcast actually popped up a few interviews and things that you had done like this. And I listened to those, and then I started seeing your things. You know how it is with computers. I started seeing your things on Facebook and Instagram. I think I found Deanna's things that she put on Instagram. And I kept reading about your program. I finally thought, I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I think maybe that way I can learn things that I didn't learn in the other course. And I learned a lot of things, shortcuts in Word, a lot of things that have speeded up my program or my transcription. So it has saved me time, and I make more money because it's not taking me so long.
That's right. So I think if I can sort of paraphrase a little bit what you're saying, you you went through another training program, but when you went through mine, it was totally different, very much different. In that mine was what, a lot more in depth, or how would you describe the differences?
Yeah, it was a lot more in depth, and I liked that you were available with any questions. The Zoom meetings that you've done have helped a lot. But a lot of the things I liked was I actually learned different things in Word that I didn't know before, like the macros and things that you teach. I had no idea about anything of that.
Mhm.
I liked that you covered the cover pages and the appearance pages. That helped me have more confidence that I knew what I was doing there. So there were just a lot of different things. The way that yours is set up is the organization, I think, helped me to go step by step, and the practice that we get from the different units.
Yeah, well, good. Well, how did you like doing the practice files?
Oh, I liked them. I mean, I like to sit and type. So it's like, I guess, being a librarian, I feel like I'm listening to an audiobook. Somebody's telling me a story, I just have to type it.
Mhm. And being a former librarian, I would guess that you're probably pretty good with researching stuff.
Yeah.
Like you want to go track it down and make sure it's spelled right, and you got the right word. You good, probably got a very good vocabulary, I would think. And so, see, your background is going to serve you well in this. It was a good transition, I would think, for you to do this. So it sounds like you just found your exact perfect thing that you needed. And so I'm so happy that you chose our training, and we were able to train you. You did really well. You just excellent student. You turned in really good work, and I don't remember you having really too many issues or feedback or anything. You know, you just sailed right through, and I was really proud of you, and I am proud of you, and I feel like you're going to have many years ahead of working enjoyment. And you know, the most important thing in life really is enjoying what you're doing. You know, if you hate your job or hate what you're doing, it doesn't really matter how much money you make. So what? If you're happy with, you know, your situation and the type of work you're doing and the money you're making, you'd be excited to get up and
Mhm.
hit the ground running every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most mornings I'm in here working by 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm a morning person. I get up at 4 and have my coffee. I'm in here at 5 and getting going for the day.
I think that's great. Have you run into any expedites yet? I mean, you've only been working just a few weeks, but I was just curious if you had tried to do anything like a daily or next day turnaround.
Sorry about that. I don't know if that came through or not. I haven't had a chance to do the expedites because I always have a file that I'm working on when they come in, it seems like. I want to. So I'm hoping that I can catch one of those soon.
I think you will, and I think you're going to like those. There's a lot of pressure in it, but there's a lot of satisfaction that you'll feel at the end of the day, like I did this. I completed start to finish in one day, and I made a whole bunch more money by doing it, and I think that you're a good candidate for that, and they'll probably want to transition you and offer you some of that type of work pretty soon, I would think. And so we'll see. But I want you to stay in touch with me and keep me in the loop, and let me know how everything's going. If there's anything I can do to help you, of course, I will.
Yeah.
I want you to come back to some more of our Zooms. Just because you're all fancy pants graduated doesn't mean that you can't come back. And so we'd love to see you again in our Zooms that we do. Will you come back and join us sometime?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I always enjoyed those and sit out on my back deck and listen to everybody discuss things. They were always a lot of fun.
Well, it's interesting to get different perspectives, from different people. I like that. Okay. Well, anything else you need to say or want to say, go right ahead before we wrap.
Just anybody that's thinking about it, jump in and give it a try. It's well worth the money. It's well worth the time that you put into it. You're going to learn a lot that will really help you set up your career and move forward.
Well, good. I thank you very much for saying that. Well, you were just a delightful student, and I kind of hated to see you graduate, really, because I just love getting your files because, gosh, they were just so good, and I was like really having to stop and look for mistakes, and that's a sign of a well-trained person and someone who has a good sharp eye for details. And that's what you have to do. You got to notice all those little tiny details, and there's thousands of them, but you just did great, and I'm so proud of you, Miss Rhonda. All right, well, I guess we'll wrap it up now and stay in touch.
Okay. Yep, I will definitely.
And I sure do appreciate your time. Thank you so much for having the interview.
Well, thank you for having the class and the time that you've put into it. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Okay, bye.
All right, bye.